Hi everyone! In this video, let's practice identifying strong versus weak versus non-electrolytes. Here I have a list of compounds, and I want you to take a couple minutes and identify which is a strong electrolyte, which is a weak electrolyte, and which is a non-electrolyte. Feel free to use the flowchart that we've used before to work your way through these problems. But keep in mind that this flowchart will not be available on your exam, so it's important to understand this order of questions to be able to address these types of problems on the test. The question asked you to identify specifically which were weak electrolytes, but let's walk through this list and see if we can identify strong versus weak versus non for all of these compounds. HClO3, starting at the top here. Is this ionic or molecular? Well, it's molecular. Okay, it consists of all nonmetals. So then we ask ourselves, is this an acid, a base, or a neutral? First off, I can tell that it's not an organic compound because there's no carbon here. So I know this is an inorganic compound. Starting with H must be an acid. So then is it a strong acid or a weak acid? Well, HClO3, that happens to be one of my 7 strong acids. So it's a strong acid. It will be a strong electrolyte. CH3NH2. So it's a molecular compound. It will be a base because it has this NH2 group. So this would be a weak electrolyte. C6H12O6. This is the molecular formula for glucose, and we have seen or are familiar with the fact that sugar does not conduct electricity in water, and so it's a non-electrolyte. Barium hydroxide, this would be classified as an ionic compound. It so happens to be one of those strong bases, a group 1 or 2 metal hydroxide salt. So this is a strong electrolyte because it's an ionic compound. KN3, we have metal, non-metal combination. It's an ionic compound. It will be a strong electrolyte. NH4Br, this is an ammonium cation paired up with an anion. It's an ionic compound. It will be a strong electrolyte. HF, again we have an inorganic formula starting with H. This must be an acid. So is it a strong or weak acid? Well, it's not one of those 7 strong acids, so this is a weak electrolyte. Okay, and that's having to do with HF being a weak acid, and that hydrogen fluorine bond is particularly strong. H3PO4, an inorganic acid starting with H. So we say, is it one of our 7 strong acids? No. So it must be a weak acid and therefore a weak electrolyte. And lastly on the list we have CH3CH2OH. This is ethanol. And the functional group we see here is an alcohol. And we know that the only functional groups from organic that are weak electrolytes are carboxylic acids or amines. This is neither of those. This must be a non-electrolyte. And in fact, your alcoholic beverages, if they were purely alcohol and didn't contain any sort of tap water or whatever, would not conduct electric current. If you have any questions about these particular compounds or others that you come across, please send me an email. I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you for watching.